It's the Score North Twin Show.
Gentlemen, the Twins have lost 2 in a row, and I don't care. I do not care because none of these games really matter. We're all just jockeying for playoff position here. What's the magic number right now, Declan? Has the graphics team here on the Score North Twin Show been able to update?
12.
We're down to 12 already.
Cleveland lost San Francisco last night, right?
So then it's 11.
3 in a row.
So the
This
Twins
would be-
lost, but
Make this 11. Pretend that
11.
this says 11. And that's
11.
right here.
11.
Graphics department update.
Wow. Yeah, 7.5 game lead. Twins have dropped 2 in a row here. The Twins, let's see here. They are, if the playoffs started today, I think it's the same as it was on our State of the Twins yesterday. No, it has flipped again. Every day there's a new wild card opponent.
Seattle's. Yep.
It's now the Rangers again.
Good.
The Mariners are a half game on the outside looking in. Rangers are in that third wild card spot, a half game behind the Jays. So they continue to play musical chairs. And then the Astros are 2 games up on the Rangers. So we'll see. A lot could change in the next 2 or 3 weeks here. We've got a feedback edition of the Score North Twin Show where we just want the Twins to win their first playoff game in almost 20 years. So we're going to take your comments and questions and rips, whatever you guys want to send us in the YouTube comment section on the Score North YouTube channel and also via the feedback tab in the Score North app, presented by our friends at Summit Orthopedics. So maybe you're dealing with some pain. Maybe you've got a few weeks here where you'd like to get right physically before a big first week in October. You can go to Summit Orthopedics. No referrals are needed. They offer same-day appointments, and they have walk-in orthopedic urgent care 7 days a week starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. 25 locations across the Twin Cities and greater Minnesota. They have over 150 expert physicians specially trained in their field. SummitOrtho.com. That's SummitOrtho.com. All right, guys, you ready to dive into the comment section here?
Let's do it.
See what's going on here? All right. Brigida Kirby says, this is the first time in God knows how long where I'm more excited about the Twins than I am the start of Vikings football going into October.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think, in terms of excitement meter right now, the Vikings threw a dud out in the first week? If let's say they lose on Thursday.
Be hard not to be more excited about the start of football and Vikings.
I'm trying to think of a time where I was more excited around this time. Like 2010 was just a whirlwind month because of Favre 2.0 and Randy Moss getting traded back here. And
2019, I was pretty when we got to the start of Vikings season with the Bomba squad. I was pretty excited about that Twins team.
That's true too.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because they were setting the home run record, and the Vikings were coming off a couple of duds. Yeah.
It felt a little stale already.
A dud, I guess, in 2018. Yeah.
And in 2017, that wild card team kind of backed into it, and the Vikings, we didn't know yet because Case had taken over, but we didn't know where the season was going to go. So I guess I probably teetered more on the Twins because we knew the playoffs were guaranteed, and we thought the Viking season was probably going to be lost with Case Keenum. Obviously, then the script slipped pretty quick after a disastrous wild card game, but that was probably up there too, 2017.
Yeah, I mean, 2009 is as exciting as it was for the Twins coming down the stretch and erasing, a 7-game deficit in the division. The Vikings had Brett Favre.
Yeah, sorry. Exactly.
I'm trying to go back even further than that. The Vikings
06? 06?
Probably
the Twins
06.
had a really good team.
But the Vikings had a new coach.
Right.
And
I'm just
probably
spitballing
06,
here.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But 19, that Twins momentum with Baldelli in his first year and all the home runs, I think I was more excited about the Twins in October of 19 than I was the Vikings. Because, the Kirk thing with Zimmer felt like it staled very quickly, and 18 was such a dud.
Let's see here. Jacob Tobin chimes in and says, Sonny Gray, he actually sent this in before last night's start, but Sonny Gray has a 6.5 ERA when he pitches in the 6th and 7th inning this season. It's admittedly a small sample size. However, I don't get why, mainly Judd, every time he gets pulled after 5 or 6 innings, there's a major complaint from people. He hasn't pitched well enough in those spots all year. Gleeman also stated that every time he talks to Sonny in the clubhouse, Sonny wants to keep pitching no matter what. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to see him pitch deep into games, but his numbers deep into games aren't good.
First of all, I don't think I've complained about Rocco lifting pitchers a lot this year because they've had most definitely a longer leash. You're confusing me complaining about the removal of Gray with me absolutely embracing that Gray is going to be pissed off. I love that fact because I love the controversy that goes with it, and I love the fact. I think the last time I talked,
you just want the drama, like the clubhouse drama.
And I believe the last time I talked about this, I think I know the one he is referring to. I believe the last game Gray pitched before last night. You could see he was seething, and I talked about that because I love that because it's fun. But I think the Twins have done a much better job for the most part of not taking guys out. But if there's going to be drama, I mean, bring it on for me personally. I love that.
But you have definitely you've made a lot of references to like previous playoff runs.
Oh yeah, they screwed up.
Where they'll pull up. Okay, but you can't play both sides of this fence now going forward. I feel like you have to choose a side. And I'll bring up Sonny's numbers here, but like Kenta Maeda and Jose Barrios got pulled after 5 really good innings. One of them might have gone 6, but their pitch counts weren't that bad.
Yeah.
And like Cody Stashak comes into a game.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Twins have a cavalcade of relievers here. So they're going to have to make a decision at some point in like a game 2 where, okay, Sonny Gray has gone 5 innings. He's given up 2 runs. He's at 89 pitches. And the third time through the order is coming up, and his statistics are not great, but the options in the bullpen are not great either, and you're going to rip them for either choice.
If Dylan Floro comes in, I will roast them. If they don't do it exactly right, I will kill them. I will pile on endlessly. That is the Astros series was an inexplicable, terrible job. I'm hoping that what they've done this year will reflect more. But you can't go from a starter who pitches well. You can take him out. You can't go to Cody Stashak. Like, that's the thing about that. In fact, I think game 1 in 2019, who did they bring in? Was that Stashak? Game 1 in 2019, they went to the bullpen and they brought in a guy, and you could literally see him peeing himself. Like, be smarter than that.
I do have some numbers here on Sonny Gray. So what's interesting this season is he's actually really good. He's been really good, period. He's been one of the better pitchers in the American League.
Very good.
But the third time through the order, he's been good. So opponents, now his strikeout totals drop a lot once you get into like the third time through, but some of that's just like it's harder to strike a guy out once he's seen you twice. But first time through the order, opponents have a 560 OPS. Second time it jumps to 650, and then it levels out at 660 the third time through the order. So opponents are a little bit better facing him once they've seen him once, but it's not that much of a difference second or third time. In terms of getting into the later innings, so this might be more of like a pitch count type of a thing. Let's see here. In the 7th inning, he's only pitched 7 seventh innings, but he gets rocked in the 7th inning. So I don't know. Maybe be careful once he gets to a certain point. But here's pitches 76 through 100 for Sonny Gray this year, and he's holding opponents to a 574 OPS, which is better than the 26th through 75th pitches for him. So I don't know if with Sonny Gray, like I let him pitch up to 100 pitches and through 6 innings, and then I take it very much like case by case after that.
Mm-hmm. And have your bullpen aligned correctly. Don't get cute.
What does aligned correctly mean for you? Declan gave his yesterday. Let's say Sonny...
I mean, Dylan
Sonny
Floro can't pitch.
Hold on. Let's say Sonny hits 100 pitches through 5.
Okay.
2 runs allowed. It's a tie game, or it's a 1-run game, and now you're getting into the 6th inning. Mm-hmm. You can either... And let's say Sonny's at 95 pitches through 5 innings. Okay. So you can either run him out for the 6th, third time through the order probably, at 95 pitches.
Okay.
Or you can start your 4 innings of relief with who?
Is he pitching well?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a grind because you're facing playoff teams, but he's only allowed a couple of runs. Let's say I'll just give you the line.
Thank you.
No, these are relevant questions. Okay, so it's 5 innings. It's 94 pitches.
Okay.
It's I'll make it even harder. It's 91 pitches, 92 pitches, somewhere in there.
Okay.
5 innings. He's given up 2 earned runs. He has 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 4 hits allowed. So 6 base runners.
That's good.
But
he's coming back
but
out.
his pitch count's a little higher. Oh, he's coming back out.
He's coming back out at 91 or 92. Yes, he's coming back out. Now, I'm not saying I'm assuring him the inning, but if he's pitching, but the line that you gave, which by the way, I believe like that can be, so when Lopez or Gray are at their best, the line is probably a bit lower than that. But the line that you just gave to me is very much how they pitch. Like Gray was not good last night, but you know what he did? Limited the damage. Like Lopez has done the same exact thing. That's what veteran pitchers do. So with the line that you just gave me, I am going to trust him. I'm going to bring him back out. Now the question becomes, how does the bullpen fall when I start to go to it?
All right, he walks. He gives up. Hold this. Yep. He gives up a little flare base hit to lead off the inning, to lead off the 6th.
And what's the score? I'm sorry.
It's 2-2.
Oh God, it's a good game.
Okay, and then and Declan's just freaking out in the corner. Telling his family and friends to stay away.
Yeah, his wife to be reconsidering as we speak.
She'll be out of the house.
She's calling her friend. She's like, I don't think I can do this. This guy's a monster. I'm like, yeah, you think? Twins monster.
So it's 2-2.
Okay.
He has given up not like a ringing double where it's like, all right, you got to get him out, but it's like a little flare. Now there's a runner on base, and he has worked the count full here. He falls behind 2-0, but he gets back. It's a full count. So now he's over 100 pitches. Probably getting close to his last batter here, and he walks the next batter. So now there's 2 on, nobody out.
Oh boy!
And he's at 100 pitches. And you're in the 6th inning.
Yeah, I got to get out of this, don't I? I mean, I got to get out of this.
Lefty coming up.
I love what you're doing here, Declan.
If it's a lefty coming up, I'm going to
I love what you're doing, Dex.
It's a lefty coming up.
Thielbar. Thielbar's immediately.
Yeah.
Up.
And he's got to take the inning now because there's nobody out. He's got to face 3 batters, right?
It's Yep. And I want this game too. So
what if it's a righty? What if it's a righty? Is this Varland?
That's an interesting one. I was thinking,
2 innings. You got two guys on base. I either want Dallas Keuchel ground ball double play, or Louis Varland 99 miles an hour up in the zone strikeout.
I think I'm going Varland.
Or Kenta. Or Kenta.
Yeah, or Kenta. Anyway, but what you guys are demonstrating is look, if you did that, I'm not going to say you screwed the pooch. Like let's say Varland comes in, gets a ball up, it gets mashed. Okay, but what you did still made sense. So this is my point. This is my point about the bullpen, how it was used in the playoffs previously. It didn't make any sense. We did entire shows on what were you thinking. So what we just did there, which is like a simulation. It's a simulation of baseball.
Yeah.
What we did
we should do one of these on like every show.
But it makes sense.
Just to be prepared,
Maeda, possibly if the matchup is right, Jax. But I'm going to bring in whoever gives me the best chance to get out of the inning.
Razorbacks 1 chimes in. YouTube comment section. The Twins bullpen still scares me. Jax has not been good since the All-Star break. Thielbar is tough on lefties, but Pagan and Floro have been better lately. But with Stewart still out, the rest have been iffy. Although Floro got the crooked number last night. Ober needs to be brought up, and then I'd feel a lot better. But see, so they're just kind of dipping Ober's toes back in the pool at AAA because he's so far past his career innings. I don't know that Ober is gonna be an option because let's say they keep pitching him like once a week. I don't know, every 5th or 6th day or something. He's gonna be 50 innings beyond his career limit going into October.
Yeah. I don't think I think he is most definitely, because these can be changed after each round. I think he is most definitely not on the first round roster.
Yeah. But there's a couple guys at the end, like Josh Winder, for instance, he walked 3 more guys last
Yeah.
night. I'm not going to use him unless it's 10-1. Like, I'm not using Josh Winder in a playoff game.
That's a good question. So do you bring him? So do you feel comfortable if you bring Bailey back for the first round, bringing him out of the pen?
Yeah, that's a good question. They'd have
Like,
to test that out in
I'm not sure I'm
St.
comfortable
Paul.
there. One thing I would like to see here, and I guess you could have done it last night and they didn't. I would like to see Varland get a few more chances right now, and I'm not saying a ton, but I would like to see him a little bit more out of the pen here, just to sort of get him as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been, I would say, rickety, but I'm not like panicking over his 2 relief appearances he's made or whatever it is. But I would like for him to have a little bit longer leash, less of a high stress situation, just so he can get acclimated to. I mean, that's a big jump going from being a starter all your life, and then now all of a sudden you're pitching out of the bullpen, you're ramping up more. And I know Glenn Perkins has talked a lot. I mean, your entire preparation has now changed. And it's not just as simple as, hey, you should just plug a starter into a bullpen. It's not MLB The Show where you can just put in a random guy in a video game. That's a completely different buildup. So I'm with Judd. I think you have to kind of change his preparation so he's ready to go.
And they're doing that. But it's been like 2 weeks.
Right.
At some point, I'd like to see him in close games. And we keep saying high leverage, which is a great segue to 3 Island on YouTube says, high leverage situation? Where do these sports guys come up with expressions that make no sense? Leverage? The word leverage has nothing to do with how they're using it. I know they're not the only ones using it, but why use something that makes no sense? A critical situation, an important situation, but leverage? Come on, fellas. Listen, we don't make the vernacular here.
Nope.
This is a front office term. This is all over Baseball Reference. It's all over Fangraphs. Everywhere you find, there's like statistical splits that say low leverage, medium leverage, and high leverage. It's high leverage meaning like, all right, boy, with one more tilt of the axis here, 3 runs could score and the game is over. That's what it means. It just means it's the turning point of a game in some form. Could be in the 2nd inning, could be in the 3rd, could be in the 9th inning. It's high leverage. I don't know,
Sports guys, you make me sick.
This is it's kind of a funny, different segue, but I think it's hilarious how in NFL games we're still using chains to determine first downs. Like we are still using chains to like as much as we have evolved as society and we're doing a lot better in football. No, we are still using the damn chains to determine the next set of downs.
Yeah, and we still don't have like definitive goal line cams too. Like you could
we
put
do
a camera
in some games.
Yeah, but they could put cameras in every game in the pylons on the goal lines. Like you could install a camera there, which would be a perfect, and they still don't. So yeah, it is. Football has some. It's either they're sticking to traditions that are sort of odd now, or they're just cheap.
But doesn't the ball have to be spotted by a human? Like how else would you spot a football? Because you can't just go, well, there's got to be a microchip. Okay, but the microchip doesn't know like when a guy's knee hit the ground, right?
Right.
So the ball has to be spotted by a human.
But I think Dex is just saying the use of chains, like
Just
you
the
could
use.
probably evolve from chains to something else that
Yeah.
would
Comes
be.
the guy.
Yeah, we're gonna spot it here, but let's at least have a laser on the field that tells you whether or not that lights up. Yeah, it's hilarious. Bryce BH says, "Why are people trying to go back on what happened in 2019?" Like this is a good question. The Twins started Dobnak because they literally had no one else. The issue was that they didn't have any pitching depth with Pineda's suspension. Saving Odorizzi for Game 3 wasn't a terrible decision. It's not like they had Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan, Kenta Maeda, Bailey Ober, and just decided to start Dobnak for the heck of it.
Oh, it was a terrible decision. You were against the wall in a hostile environment where you have never won, and you started a guy who was driving a car 6 months ago instead of a proven all-star pitcher in Jake Odorizzi. You don't worry about Game 3. You need to even this series now. If you want to go then start Dobnak in Game 3 with the series evened up because you are out of the options, different conversation. That is one of the most boneheaded decisions by this organization and maybe even professional sports.
And Game 3 also was at home. So, like, if you're going to throw Dominic into the fire, do you want to throw him into a fire where they're chanting Uber driver the entire game, or in front of? Neither would have been ideal, but yes, withholding a pitcher to basically what amounted to sacrifice a game to hopefully have your pitcher now win a must-win game or your season is done was a rather odd.
Also, like, sometimes I don't understand who we're trying to exonerate here. Well, they didn't have anyone else. Well, that's their fault for not having anyone else. Well, but Pineda was suspended. Well, why don't you have any other? You have the greatest power hitting team in baseball history. Why don't you have more than like 2 or 3 options going into a playoff series? That planning starts back in February. Well, back in December, January, February, March, and then you have another shot at it at the trade deadline. And all the reasons that you guys just listed too. They're in a much better spot now than they were. They don't have to worry about someone that they don't. Like you listed Bryce listed Bailey Ober. I would argue that there's no chance they would ever start unless 2 or 3 guys go down with Tommy John in the next 2 weeks, right? Like they're in a much better spot. We can agree on that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Ryan Snavely says, "I freaking love your shows." Thank you, Ryan. I've really enjoyed the Immaculate Grid on the Twin Show. You guys crushed it with an 18 rarity score on yesterday's show. I especially loved how when Kirk's uncle, Judd Cousins, was ready to check it down just to stay immaculate, old Macadac and Dex were still swinging for the fences to keep the low score. Keep up the good work, fellas.
Kirk's uncle. I love it.
People say you look like an older version of Kirk Cousins.
I don't really see it.
I don't know if I see that.
I don't really see that one. I mean, hair? I don't know.
I think you have better hair than Kirk Cousins. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he's got bad hair.
What's weird about that is when Kirk was at Michigan State and in Washington, did he dye his hair a little bit or highlight it? Because his blonde
did look a little more gold.
Go back and look at his rookie year. His hair was gold. Yeah, his hair was definitely sort of blondish. Yeah. And now, as far as I can tell, as dark as can be.
There are several comments, too, in the YouTube comment section accusing Declan of cheating on yesterday's Immaculate Grid. And I think the Kevin Apier thing is what makes people suspicious. Because if Declan doesn't know who Jay Buhner is in the 90s and Steve Lombardozzi, then how would he be so sure about Kevin Apier when I threw out Kevin Apier? Did Dex already have... Now, before Dex says his piece.
Wow.
We ask Declan to look at the grid quickly every morning to see if the Twins are on it so that we can... Okay, the Twins are on it. We can make a big deal out of it and have fun with it. Because we want to know if the Twins are on it so we can tell you at the top of the show how excited we are. So if Declan takes a mental picture of the grid, that is an inherent advantage. And that's fine. There's no rules to the grid except for... I guess if you are actively looking guys up during, which we aren't doing. So I don't know, Declan. There's 5 or 6 comments, people saying, "Boy, he was pretty sure about Kevin Apier for a guy that doesn't know baseball earlier than 1997."
Okay, first off, it's not completely black and white that I don't know any other baseball player in the 90s or 80s. That is clear. That's clear. Also, in my free time, I follow numerous accounts on Instagram. One's Random MLB Baseball Stars. Great one if you're ever looking for rarity scores on the grid. And then shout out to John Boy Media, which has Ref Guess as a separate YouTube channel as part of their things, where they literally take the entire John Boy Media crew, they throw up a screenshot of a baseball reference player's statistics, and they all have to guess it. So random names come up that I do know, and some names that maybe I'm like, oh, I forgot about this player. Those situations have happened with me now on the grid. I'm like, oh, I remember this guy from a previous game was on, and he was able to do it. So
that's fair.
That's how I go about this business. Yes, I have to look at the grid beforehand. I am not mentally thinking of all the possible squares. No, not cheating.
But I'll tell you, since we started doing the grid, there's a lot of players that pop into your consciousness that otherwise would never have come back. I've been thinking about a time to use Brian Giles at some point.
Right.
Because I had him on a fantasy team 20 years ago, and his name just popped into my head in the last week. I'm waiting for I think it would be a Pirate Padre square, right? He was also with Cleveland too, I'm pretty sure. Didn't he start with Cleveland?
Yeah.
So as you go along here, I'm going to defend Declan here. As you go along, your radar is up for obscure baseball players.
5 accusations of cheating is really, really...
people know that you guys have had debates about Declan's lack of knowledge of players before he was born.
And plus, again, like the only reason why those debates occur is because his knowledge from about 2000 on is one of the most incredible I've seen.
How are you right now, confidence-wise? People are trying to pump you up in the YouTube comment section because Jim Palmer did have 199 strikeouts.
Yep.
So your radar was honed.
Yeah.
It was just a bad beat.
Yeah. But I mean, I was staggered in the corner of the grid. Like, there's no question. I took a right to the chin, and it staggered me. And I felt vulnerable on Monday.
And the issue with Judd is Judd's knowledge is even pre-Mackey's knowledge. So Judd's kind of on an island with an era of baseball players.
I'm a left tackle.
We have to trust. We have to trust. If you come in strong with someone from like the late 70s, we have to trust you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to block one guy. Coming off the edge, guys.
Gosh. So we do have an Immaculate Grid coming up here. We're going to get to that in just a moment. A couple things for you guys. So a couple cool things on the Score North shop, scorenorth.com/shop. We have a couple of new Purple Daily merchandise items. I will ride with this group, Purple Daily shirts. And I'm a KOC guy. I'm a KOC girl shirts, if you want, on the merchandise part. Also, on the shop, scorenorth.com/shop, there's a collectibles wing where you can find, like, for instance, for the YouTube audience here, courtesy of Universal Sports Auctions, a customized Torrey Hunter autographed jersey right there. There's some great baseball items like a Sandlot cast autographed jersey. Scorenorth.com/shop and click on collectibles. Use the promo code SCORE, SKOR, to save 10% on all products site-wide. Great things to deck out your man cave, your office, whatever it may be. So check it out. Also, Power Lodge, 3 locations in Minnesota, and Miller Marine in St. Cloud. They have still hundreds of Bennington pontoons in stock across all locations. This is a great time of year. Once you swoop in before, because it's going to be 80 degrees again next week, swoop in at the end of summertime here and get your pontoon and have it ready to go for next year. There's Judd doing one of his patented somersaults into a beautiful body of water off a Bennington pontoon.
How talented am I? I mean, when you look at that, when you look at me going into that off of Bennington, and it's absolutely what I like to call
it's pure
throttle therapy. You know why? Because that's what Minnesota sports fans need, and that's what a Bennington is going to give you. Rest, relaxation, and throttle therapy away from your troubles, away from your 0-1 football team. So check it out today. And again, as Phil said, there's plenty of nice weather left.
Yes, Bennington's galore over at powerlodge.com and millermarine.com. All right, boys, it's time for the Immaculate Grid Challenge. There's been some comments, too. People say they would literally watch us, especially when the Twins are on the grid, do this for like an hour. So I'm just going to, I don't think we can put an hour on the clock.
Yeah,
I'm going to put 8 minutes.
50 minutes.
50 minutes. Okay.
Put 50 minutes on the clock. No one wants an hour. 50 minutes is fine.
I'm going to put 8 minutes on the clock just to give us some parameters here because we do have Purple Daily to record yet today. So we're looking to go 9 for 9 first and foremost. If we can hunt an Immaculate or like a rarity score here beyond being Immaculate, that would be great too. We're looking for a Met who was a Giant, a Met who was a Brave, and a Met who was a Philly. We're looking for a Giant who had 300 career wins as a pitcher. So any 300 win pitcher that passed through as a Giant. Same for 300 career save pitchers. And then those two categories also as a Brave and as a Philly. Mm-hmm. Judd, you have 10 seconds to complain about today's grid, and then we will start.
No, you know what? I'm going to go in positive today.
Okay. Wow. Good for you.
I'm going in positive because I feel like yesterday was difficult, and I need to overcome that.
And I feel like with this one, like, I mean, we can always try to be obscure, but it's just so tough when there's only like a handful of guys who have done this.
There's only so many 300 save pitchers, right? So this isn't one where we're going to get a 20 rarity score. So we're just looking to go 9 for 9.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to put, what did I say, 8 minutes on the clock. And we go. Vamos.
We could use Joe Nathan for 300 career save pitching Giant. Because he started.
You're right. He did. Yes.
Started with the Giants.
He wasn't in the minors. Yep. You're right.
Rob Nen, but I bet Joe is a.
What about just for fun? Rod Beck. Did he get to 300?
I don't know. He got 300.
But Joe Nathan for sure did,
The
right?
late Rod Beck.
Joe Nathan will be obscure because people forget he played for the
That's
Giants.
what I was going to say. That's
Whoa,
the
wow.
obscurity.
21%?
Wow,
That's the
people
obscurity
actually
thing
remember
here.
Yeah.
Damn.
I agree
For Braves,
with that.
did John Rocker get to 300? He was really good for a
I
while,
don't
then he
think
got weird.
did. Kenley Jansen pitched for him
Kimbrel.
last season.
Jensen and Kimbrel
Kimberly Jansen.
would be a couple options here.
I'm trying to think here. What's his name? The guy from the
Papelbon
90s.
would work for Phillies.
Trying to think like 80s, 90s. I mean, we could.
Didn't Jeff Reardon play for the Braves? Did he play for the Braves?
That I don't remember him with the Braves. He was with the Red Sox.
Mark Wohlers. Did he get to 3? He didn't get to 300.
I don't think he closed his whole career. I think he was a setup man when he started, and I don't think he got to 300.
Well, let's write down Kimbrel. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
obvious.
Kimbrel
one.
and Jensen are the obvious ones.
And Canley. Didn't Billy Wagner pitch for the Phillies?
Yep. Papelbon and Wagner.
Okay.
Mitch Williams. He didn't get to. Did he get to 300?
I don't think he got to
300 is a
300.
lot of saves.
Yeah. I think Mitch flamed out before he got to 300, although I did love Wild Thing.
Who did we say? Papelbon, and who was the other one there?
Wagner.
Billy Wagner,
Billy Wagner.
who was a hell of a closer. Great fan.
I kind of like going Billy Wagner there. It's still going to be like 20%. I'm going to say 15. 17.
Okay.
All right, we'll go back to the Braves closer here. 300 win. Did Don Sutton have 300? Greg Maddux did, right? The Glavin Maddux.
Smoltz?
No, because Smoltz closed,
Yeah.
Oh.
right?
At the end, but he might have gotten both actually.
Oh, you know who's good? You know who's good here? I bet Phil Niekro
Yeah.
Oh,
for Braves, because he pitched forever.
Phil Niekro, NIE.
Yeah, you got it.
10%.
There we go. The Niekros they combined for like 50 years as pitchers, didn't they? Didn't Joe Niekro pitch for a long time? Joe Niekro was the Twins nail file guy, right? Mm-hmm. Giants, 300 career win Giants.
Randy Johnson.
Way back. Yeah, Randy Johnson.
It'll be but Randy Johnson.
Did
Nobody since Randy Johnson, because no one gets to 300 career wins. You got to go way back.
That statistics.
you know who pitched for a bunch of teams, including the Giants? I don't know if he got to 300 though. Was Spitballer Gaylord Perry? Because he pitched. That's the thing is, guys used to pitch forever, and they pitched a lot.
Yeah. I think we just go Randy Johnson here, don't we?
Yeah, like I said, I think the rarity score here is shot. So let's
Agreed.
just try to be immaculate, I guess.
Yeah, 45%.
Okay.
And then a Philly.
Steve Carlton.
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say maybe like Roy Halladay.
Ah, man.
he didn't
the
get
modern
300.
pitchers didn't get that many wins.
But he won so many games, so I thought maybe he had. But I like Carlton here. 88.
88%.
Holy cow.
That tells you there ain't very many.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
there's not. Like, that's the thing about.
I'm gonna look up Roy Halladay. I'm looking up Roy Halladay. I'm just looking up his wins. I'm not cheating. I'm just looking
okay.
up Roy Halladay.
People are
Keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him.
People are going to be pissed.
All right.
Okay, we can go. We need a Met who was a Giant, a Met who was a Brave, and a Met who was a Philly.
One
Any
guy
former
that
Twins here.
Yeah, one guy that we haven't used a lot, and I want to say he pitched. He's one that we could probably use several times. Didn't LaTroy Hawkins play for both those teams?
The Mets and Giants.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure on Mets.
Eduardo Escobar didn't go to the Giants. He went to the Diamondbacks, and now he's with the Mets.
Yeah,
And now he's with the Angels,
It'd be fun to
right?
get some Twins on this one.
Yeah. Did Neshek play for the Mets, Phil?
I don't think so.
Played for the Phillies.
Yeah, he played for the Phillies, but
And
I don't think he
Cardinals.
played for the Mets. Did did Butch Husky play for the Giants or the Braves? I feel like Butch Husky played for those. He played for the
I don't remember that.
Mets
Yeah.
for sure. 4 minutes on our clock here.
Did
You know
Justin Upton go to the Mets?
You know who started out with the Giants and then signed with the Mets eventually was old school George Foster.
George Foster. Did he play
Yeah.
for both teams?
Yeah, he started as a Giant, and then I think he went Giants, Reds.
Let's get Judd's
Mets.
confidence back here. George Foster.
0.3.
There it is.
0.3%.
George
Big
Foster, I'm
time,
back.
dude. Okay, for
Jaime Garcia didn't go to the Mets. He went to the Cardinals and the Yankees and the Braves.
did Al Leiter pitch for the Phillies? Did Joe Blanton pitch for the Mets?
Ooh,
Joe Bland.
Joe Blanton.
I'm trying to think of like late
Did-
90s.
Did the
Oh, you
Did
know
the
who's
Mike Hampton. Mike Hampton, he pitched for the Mets, didn't he? No, he pitched for the Braves.
Yes.
Might be. Did he pitch for
No,
the
I,
Mets?
no,
though?
I think you're. No, I think you're right.
did
I think
Vance
you're.
did Vance Worley pitch for the Mets after the Twins?
Don't
No,
know.
no, he went to Pittsburgh, right? And
Pittsburgh. Okay.
He went Philadelphia, Minnesota, Pittsburgh.
That would've been
The obvious Met Philly is Lenny Dykstra,
Yeah,
but that's good. That's really obvious. I don't know if you guys care.
it is really obvious. We can put that over here. What about oh god, that Todd Hundley? I feel like he might have played for the Braves too. He was the Mets catcher for a while. I feel like there should be way more crossover between these. Are all like division foes. They know each other's
Yeah.
players, right?
I think of Twins even. I can't think of.
Meet the Mets. You want to put that 300 career save one in there? Do you want to do
Jensen or Kimbrel.
Kimbrel? Let's do Kimbrel.
43.
43%.
Plouffe,
Okay.
Plouffe didn't go to the Mets, did he?
No.
I don't think so. We know we have Lenny Dykstra for a Philly Met. We might as well just. I mean, our score is shot, so we might as well just do it.
17.
Whoa, 17% only. Holy
A
cow!
Brave and a Met. A Brave and a
That's
Met.
odd.
Frank Coor?
Jose Reyes go to the Braves.
Did Frank Coor play for the Mets?
Frank Coor? Yeah.
Yeah,
Frank Coor played for the Mets.
Yeah. Yeah.
He played for the Mets
Yeah.
Because he
because
came
he started
up
with the
Brave.
Braves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Good
Jeff
call.
Frank Coor.
Okay, well there you go.
Nice.
All right.
248.
Hey,
but
all right,
Well,
okay.
there's nothing you can do.
The 300 say how many are? I mean, look at that. There's like
There's
5, 6, 7 options, 7, 9, 4, and there's people that are there's pitchers obviously from like the first half of the 20th century. So Glavine, yeah, okay, Maddox, Randy Johnson, Willie Mays, yeah, Willie Mays.
Yeah.
There you go. It's actually one of the easier grids you're probably going to run into here. Very tough to get a low rarity score. Frank Coor only 6%. That's pretty good, boys. Okay. Nice job. We are Immaculate. This is the Score North Twin Show. Please click the subscribe button and the like button on the Score North YouTube channel, and a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple or Spotify can help us climb charts and build this community here as we count the days down until a Twins playoff appearance and a division title. See you.